While American bombs are falling on Tehran and global oil routes are paralyzed, one country is quietly making a fortune. It sounds impossible. The Strait of Hormuz is effectively closed. 15% of the world's oil supply is physically stuck. Global giants like Saudi Arabia and Kuwait have been forced to cut production as their tankers sit idle. But according to a bombshell report from The Economist, Iran is the only exception. Despite the war, despite the sanctions, and despite the U.S. Navy's presence, Iran is currently earning nearly double what it made before the war began on February 28. While the rest of the world faces a fuel crisis, Iran is making a mint from Donald Trump's war. How is this happening? And who is helping them move millions of barrels of ghost oil right under the nose of the U.S. military? Here is the math that is shocking global markets. Most Gulf countries are seeing their revenues collapse because they cannot ship their product. But Iran's tankers are still moving. Data shows Iran is exporting between 2.4 to 2.8 million barrels per day. But the real secret isn't just the volume, it's the price. Because of the war, Brent crude has surged 75%, hitting $115 per barrel this week. Before the war, Iran had to sell its oil at a massive discount to find buyers. Now, because the world is desperate for any oil it can get, those discounts have vanished. In some cases, Iranian oil is now selling at a premium. Stable volume plus record high prices equals a massive war chest for Tehran. So, how does a country under active bombardment manage to run a global oil business? The system runs on three invisible pillars. Pillar 1, the sellers. Officially, the National Iranian Oil Company handles exports, but in reality, the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard, has taken over. They have distributed oil quotas to 20 powerful figures, including religious foundations and private ministries, who turn that oil into liquid cash through private networks. Pillar 2, the Ghost Fleet. The IRGC now controls the shipping lanes. Iranian tankers move through narrow, safe corridors along their own coastline where U.S. ships hesitate to enter. These tankers switch off their transponders, change their digital identities mid-ocean, and move in swarms to confuse satellite tracking. Pillar 3, shadow banking. The money doesn't go through New York or London. It moves through a complex web of shell companies in India, Kazakhstan, and Turkey. The final destination? Small, specialized banks in China and Hong Kong that don't have any exposure to the U.S. financial system. Who is keeping this entire system alive? China. China is currently buying over 90% of Iran's oil exports. Most of it goes to small independent refineries known as teapots in the Shandong province. Before the war, these teapots were getting a $20 discount per barrel. Today, that discount has shrunk to almost nothing. China is essentially funding the Iranian side of the conflict to ensure its own energy security, while the U.S. struggles to keep global gas prices under $4 a gallon. Donald Trump has recently threatened to obliterate Iran's oil hubs like Karg Island if the strait doesn't open by April 6th. But here is the catch. If the U.S. destroys Iran's oil infrastructure, global prices won't just hit $120, they could hit $200. The system Iran has built is a masterpiece of adaptation. It's a shadow economy that thrives on the very chaos meant to destroy it. The question is no longer if the U.S. can stop Iran's military. The question is, can anyone stop Iran's oil?